Good afternoon, my name is Tumi Tladi. Let's carry on. This is going to be video number 23, I believe. And I'd like to apologize for any noise that you might be hearing in the background because as of 20 minutes ago, there was a noise, but when it started, I was aware. So yeah, but let's carry on. Please, if you find this material helpful, please do like, comment, and then please share, and also please subscribe. Tell your friends about the goodness of this content. Okay, thank you. Now this video, because the previous video number 22, yes, I was talking about this service called BulkSMS. Okay, that's in video number 22. Video number 23, I'm going to focus on a small project. Now this is where now my potential recruiters are welcome to check my work. Yes, that okay, I'm going to do something at the same time. That this is identical docs project, so I'm going to close it and I'm going to open a new solution called SMS API. It's an independent project. Yeah, here it is, SMS API. Okay, cool. So it's also on version control, by the way. It has its own repo and it has its own domain, subdomain. Okay. He said to jump into startup, but I'm just gonna do a walkthrough quickly. It's already been deployed. Okay, then I'll explain in the context of identical docs why this project is critical and why I need it. Okay, so I developed this guy because if you watch the previous video, towards the end I explained that I end up duplicating the thing that works. So but what's gonna happen if I need to change the credentials? Because for you to be able to use the service, you will need to be authenticated. There's a username, then there's a password. So now if I change the password, because I do that every year, all my systems that are using this service I will need to be updated, and that's not the right thing to do. So that's why I created a small project. This is ASP.NET Web API targeting .NET Core. So I'm doing this so that I can show that as a developer, as a programmer, you need now to start to think like a developer. What's going to happen if you need to change something? I'm talking about something that is inevitable, which is the username, not username, but the password, because you will need to be authenticated. So rather change from one project, redeploy it, but all your client applications are connected to this server, then they will know that, you know what, we don't need to do anything. They won't need to do anything. That's what I meant to say. So yes, this is ASP.NET Core Web API project targeting .NET 5.0. Okay, so let's see. I'm not going to go into analyzers frameworks, but I'm going to go to packages. What did I use? I use a Fluent validation. I'm going to do Fluent validation extensively, going back to identical docs. But I can cover something here to give you an idea what to expect. Now, Swashbuckle is it's Swagger. Okay, we need that to test this because this is a web API to test it. And then properties, well, launch settings, you know what to do. And then this is publish profiles, it's not checked into version control. Okay, and then www root. So the only thing I have folder for CSS, and then for site to style this page that you see here, to style this guy. And then I have favicon for identical docs, because this project it derived from identical docs and the theme and everything, and that's what it's inside www root. And then I'm gonna start with, I'm not gonna open this, it contains some sensitive stuff. Program.cs, this is where everything starts, where we use startup as an entry point. And then startup project, you see that it's clean, it has proper comments, everywhere. And then this is where now in development I can tamper with Swagger And then from here, I'm just say go to home controller and you find the index action method, use static files, routing, use authorization, and then these are default controller routes where we map them. Okay, now this is now again, because I do this also for myself as a programmer, and I'm still busy with my new system called C versus C, and then I was still busy with the startup, and then there's a bug when it comes to SQL Server, because I have to say use SQL Server. All of that, they're being extracted away into a folder called installers. We did cover this extensively, so I'm not going to get into this. Like seriously. But just a high level overview that I do have interface I installer, I do have install extension, and then for MVC installer, this MVC stuff, and then for Swagger stuff, because I did cover this thing, and then services installer, and then this is where I use singleton. See that I send SMS, it's where we're going next. Okay, and then the controllers, like I said, we have a home controller. It has this index action method. I'll come to send SMS control in a second. Contracts, okay, the views, let's go to the view, home, just this index, this page that you see here. Yes, nothing. Okay, we covered that. Validations, I'll come to it. Utilities, I'll come to it. Services, I'll come to it. Models, I'll come to it. Okay, models is the same thing from the previous videos I did. Error request model, error response model, and then they're making use of the filter. We did cover this filter. Okay, so that's covered. Please watch the previous video because I'm not gonna get to that. Global variables, is there anything sensitive in here? Let's see. No, there isn't. So this is for validation, where I validate API key. So basically, when the client application wants to send an SMS to any recipient, they will need to provide the API key. So the API key lives in here. I can't open this class because it contains the actual API keys, but there are a lot. Okay, so for each project I will use just random, but I think there are about 6 to 7 API keys in there. Their unique strings are long, you'll never figure them out. Okay, so I'm validating API key, and then I'm validating the phone number and the body. Okay, and this is the actual code that we did show, I think, but this one does have some sensitive credentials, so I'm not gonna open this one, but we did check it in the previous video number 22. Okay, so that's it. And then let's go to the routes. So I have this API routes class. So you see, it's gonna use this SMS API as a base. It knows only one route for send SMS, post one SMS. So all the client applications, web, mobile application, desktop application, they will need to know about this address. And then I do have the request that comes in. You see this post one SMS request. I'm expecting API key. It's a property of type string, phone number, property of type string, and the body, property of type string, where all of them are required. There we go. So that's the contract. So me having to use the contract, that's where now the send SMS controller comes in. And then I did on LinkedIn, I did have developers to look at the bug. There was a bug before I deployed this into the server. Protection wise, there was a bug. So this is how you have your clean. This is how you have your API clean. So global variables. So I need this I send SMS interface. So where I do say list, it's going to return a list of the keys, and then I have the method name called all keys. So the implementation of that is that I'm only going to return what all the keys from API keys. Hence I say I cannot show that class. Cool. Now you understand. That's the services, and they're being registered in iInstaller. Now for post one SMS validator, so this is how I'm validating the incoming request. To say for API key, so the total length of the key is 26. It needs to be 26. Now you know. But I can't show you the keys. The phone number I'm expecting to be 10. Check my previous videos where I showed that the phone number has to be 10 characters. The body can be from 5 to 150 for only one SMS. Okay. So this is me validating that, but I'll do extensive research at the video for Fluent validation. It's another external service I'll cover when I get to it, not now. So we're done with validators. And what's left now is to go back to this controller. Okay. So then I'm using dependency injection, okay. And then I have my endpoint. So this is for Swagger. I can show Swagger how this guy looks like just to give you a sneak peek. So yeah, let me quickly run it locally in the meantime. I did not plan this, but I feel like I've been talking about Swagger, and then what are these comments? What do they mean? What are these things? What do they mean? All of that. So the number one thing, the attribute is that this is gonna be HTTP post. There's gonna be the verb or the method just to post. So I have my routes, like I keep them clean in one place, so you know this. And then it's gonna produce a response type of 400. That means something is wrong when it comes to validating the model. Or unauthorized, that means that the API key it's not the correct one. Or 44, no, we could not, but we'll see where 44, where it's being applicable. Or your success. Okay. And then this one is void, this one returns exception, this one is void, this one returns an error response model. So this is a new way in .NET Core how we're supposed to do it. It's different in .NET Framework. Okay, I should not tamper with the Visual Studio before it freezes again, because he has a habit of freezing this thing. Okay, then I have this actual method, action method, send SMS. So it expects the incoming post one SMS request, and then we do try and catch block. So this is not found. Okay, this is where it's applicable. So now it's launching. Let's give it a second while it launches. And then I'm saying now try var is. Can we talk about how we write Boolean variables? Can we stop writing stuff that don't make sense, please? I don't know why developers are so lazy, but can we become developers that write code that can be readable? Don't write model here. I like to do it this way. Post one SMS request with proper underscore, so that in the midst of the method, because the method can become pretty long, or the class, I should be able to this is an incoming request where we are posting only one. That means we're sending one SMS, but this is a request. Okay, so I'm saying var is API key correct? By default it's false. var, this way now I'm saying, okay, let's use that interface to say, you know what, give me access to all the keys, that give me access to them. So if you can see the return type, it's a list of the keys. Okay, so then I loop through those keys and I say if on that specific key, if it's equal to the one that comes in as a request, then the API key is correct. This is the if part, but it needs to change this state of its API key to either true or false. By default it's false. And I'm saying if not this guy is true, that means it's unauthorized. But if all these checks they pass, then we can actually send the SMS. And this you're familiar with. Okay. So this is what I'm trying to wanna fix. I'm gonna do that behind the scenes for identical dogs, where I'll only use this, where I configure the API keys because I know them, it's my system, but I should be able to reuse this web API, and then someone else who wants to make use of it, I'll just say to them, you know what, I'll give you the key, and I'll just create a temporary key and redeploy quickly. That's why I have multiple keys. I think about 6 to 7, 26 characters. They're unique. Even I myself don't know them by head. So then I can give it to anybody who would like to test this thing out. So let's go back to this guy at development version. So can I do Swagger? Yes. Now this is Swagger UI. So let me show you how this will work. Let's hide the schemas. Now you can show that it's post, and then this is going to be the URL. okay, for any client. Okay, and there's gonna be a comment, send the request for an SMS to be sent out to the user, and we know this from the comment here. Okay, and this is not see the laziness. I only handle 200. What should I expect when it's 200, and what should I expect when it's 400, but I did not cater for 404, so that means it's buggy, and 41, and I'll do so when I do some changes to this guy, because it's on version control. As you can see, it's on version control, because I don't like to lie. Let's go to GitHub. This tedious. GitHub. Okay, so if we open this guy, that's how it looks like, Swagger. And I think I have a friend of mine, there's a request on my WhatsApp. This guy says, and also please make a video where you show the use of Postman and Git plus GitHub, please. 24 minutes ago. So I'm gonna do Postman when I show that, and Git and GitHub. So it's a request from a friend. Okay. It's slowing down. Oh, by the way, yes, I remember something like this. Yeah, I don't know why, but I remember something like this. And how did I get to fix it? Yeah, I remember something like this. Like I said, I'm gonna be transparent about everything. I don't know what triggers this guy, but I remember. Yeah, I remember something like this. Okay, but let's do in debug mode. Let's put a breakpoint here. Doesn't matter. Yeah, I remember that it's acting weird, so I could not figure out, because that's development stuff. Yeah, that error message or this warning. Yeah, I remember specifically for this project. Yeah, I'm familiar with this, so it's something that I still need to figure out what causes this, and now here it is. For some reason, so does it mean can I stop this one now? Yeah, I don't know what causes it, to be exact, so that I become careful next time when I go this route of ASP.NET Web API in .NET Core, you know, especially when I work with Fluent, Validation, and Swagger, because these are the only two packages. Yeah, so yeah, no, let's stop with this guy, because yeah. But I also try to show that in identical docs that does it do the same thing. I'll try to remember when I make a video for that one. See, I don't want Visual Studio now to hang up. Terminate. Yes. Okay, so let me wrap up. So these are the responses for 200, sends the request for SMS to be sent out. 400, unable to send the request for an SMS to be sent out to the user due to validation errors. See, I need to have 401 and 404 so that they can be part of the responses. This is a document. In fact, I do have a 441, but I did not document it. But I should be able to document it. And yes, I do have a 404. So I think, okay, let me try to explain this part. No, stop. Controller. Although I did not write the actual message, but it knows based on saying produce response type. It knows based on that. Because I only have those 4, including 404. There we go. So this is what I'm expecting. I'm expecting the key, I'm expecting phone number, I'm expecting the body, and then it can work. And then you just hit try out, and then you enter the actual values. And I think it's gonna freeze again. No, try out. Okay, but in a nutshell, this is it. I meant to show that there is SMS API, that is. Let's go via the root of repositories. There we go. This is the project. This ASP.NET Core Web API .NET 5.0 project is intended to be the only access to bulk SMS service provider and allows all the clients utilize it whenever an SMS has to be sent out. So yeah, you can see 39 comments. I was busy with this guy, fixing the bug and all that. So we will do this some other time. Right, so that's evidence that it's here. So yeah, I'm done. So the next video is going to be the last video, where we're going to do now how do you actually validate the phone number for identical dogs. Stay tuned for that one. For now, thank you, and I'm done.